pleased to have here on the Rich Eisen Show, fresh off a 3-touchdown performance in San Diego against the Chargers, quarterback Derek Carr. How are you, Derek?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you doing, Rich?
I am doing just fine. How was it like to be in Southern California and seeing all those Raider fans in the stands?
Man, it was awesome. To go down there, to a divisional, road game and really have it feel like a home game. Our fans really came out in full force, and we knew Raider Nation traveled well, but especially this week, they definitely did.
So how are you different this year? Are you seeing the game slower? Is that developing for you right now, Derek?
Yeah, I think, with any, second-year player, Charles Woodson, who I know you're a big fan of, he always told me, he said, after you start those first 16 games, no matter what year it is, that next year you come in and watch how slow the game gets, watch how comfortable you feel. And, that's one thing that has happened this year is the game has slowed down a lot. For me, and my coaches are doing a great job of teaching me and to how to run their system the way they want it.
So has Charles said he wants to catch passes from you, Derek?
Oh yeah,
has he said that yet?
Oh yeah, he definitely wants to. And I told him, I said, we got to make that happen because that would definitely be a dream come true for me.
Well, I mean, he's the GOAT. I'll listen to anything he ever says. So.
No, absolutely. I told him one time, I said, hey, I hope you don't take this the wrong way. He said, oh, but here it comes. I said, yeah, here it comes. I said, when I was 6, I used to pretend I was you at Michigan, and he just started laughing. So, yeah, we got to make that happen, though.
So you've done the Heisman pose then?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely did. Did the one-handed catch, all that. I definitely did it. Yeah.
So who else were you emulating as a kid?
Oh, man, I was a big time, obviously my brother, being around him all the time,
Sure.
That's an easy one. But, I think another one would be Brett Favre. I think that, he's someone that, on the field I respect a lot, how he played the game and how he, always had fun and how tough he was and all those things. And he gives his guys chances. And so I definitely like the way he played.
Well, I don't know if you've heard this, but Steve Mariucci, who is essentially the Brett Favre whisperer of NFL Network, he says you remind him of Favre.
Oh, wow.
Derek.
Well, man, well, tell Mooch I said thanks.
I will.
I got a long way to go, but, that means a lot. Wow, that's really cool.
He does. I mean, he said that, and Mike McCoy said this week after the game, after you torched the joint in the first half of the game for sure, that you remind him of Phillip Rivers, too, in the same way that you approach the game.
Wow. Those are both, two of the best to play this game. So, that just means a lot. I'm very humbled, by those comments. That's awesome.
Derek Carr, the quarterback of the Oakland Raiders, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. How have things been different with Jack Del Rio at the helm?
I think that just the him and the whole staff, really, the energy they bring every single day. You think some days, they can't bring that kind of energy every day. There's got to be a lull one day, and there never is a lull from that staff and him. Each day we come in, they expect us to compete at a high level, whether it's walkthrough, whether it's, full speed team drills. They expect us to compete at whatever we do. They did something during training camp. They had the, ping pong. They had, a whole bunch of games out there for us, and they just wanted us to compete at all times, just have fun competing and, really that camaraderie of competing against each other. So, the energy and the competition is something that's, I think that they've brought in that has been awesome.
So are you bringing that up to say that you've got a good ping pong game, too?
No, it got good. It definitely was not. It definitely didn't start that way.
Okay.
But we played enough to where it was pretty good.
So who was most dominant?
Oh, man, who's really, really good is Seabass. Seabass is unbelievable. The first time he played, I could not believe it. So we teamed up one night, and that was pretty fun.
So Janikowski is a first-rounder ping pong guy, too? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah, possible top pick.
No kidding.
No kidding. It's pretty impressive.
Maybe that's what Al Davis thought he was doing all those years ago. Who knows? You never know. You never know. And by the way, too, to talk about high energy guys, I don't know if you're aware of this, too, but when NFL Network started in 2003, my first cohort, my first analyst was Ken Norton Jr. He was the first guy, part of the NFL Network paparazzi. Are you aware of that?
Oh, I didn't know that, but
yeah.
As you know, he is definitely one of those guys that brings the energy every single day.
He is. But then there's the other GOAT that's strolling around there. You got Charles in pads, and you got Rod Woodson with the headset on.
That's
also.
right. It really is unbelievable. We got I say this all the time too. I think I'd take our coaching staff against any coaching staff in a fight. It's, these guys, they walk around the building, and you have to remind yourself that they're coaches, not players anymore.
So you mean like some sort of ending of Anchorman type alley brawl?
I think.
You take your guys.
I think that if that ever went down, I like our chances.
That's right. Del Rio, right there. He'd sort of be the Ron Burgundy of the whole thing.
That's right.
Derek Carr, Raiders quarterback, joining me here. How good is Amari Cooper, Derek?
Man, I know that he's young. I know it's only been 6 games, but I've seen his work ethic. I know the kind of person he is. He's one of the best in this league. And that's with respect to all those guys. He's definitely up there with them. His route running ability, his playmaking ability, as we saw this past week. I threw that ball up to him, and I just, it was one of those. I went back to my college days throwing up to those guys. I said, hey, I'm just going to give him a chance, see what he does. And I gave him a chance, and he went up and elevated, made that play, and it was unbelievable to see that part of his game as well. So he's continuing to grow, but as long as he keeps working hard the way he does and keeps his, head on straight like he will, he's going to be one of the best.
Let's talk family here. Let's talk family right now. When I was beginning to get to know you, just your game, this first time you and I have ever talked, but at the combine, hearing about your son, your newborn at the time who needed surgery at the time. How is Dallas doing right now?
That means a lot that you would ask. He's doing great. He's as healthy as can be. Doctors told us, that if we didn't even tell him what happened, he would just say, "What's this funny scar on my stomach?" There's nothing wrong. And Valley Children's Hospital did a great job, and God protected him. We were blessed to have him, and he's alive and healthy. And now we got another one on the way.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Due in March. So, we're going to have a busy household.
Okay. So you're 6 behind Phillip Rivers then?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. I think we might stay behind him, too.
Okay. Yeah, 8. I can't even imagine. My gosh.
That's a big dinner table. Yeah. I don't think they come with that many seats. You got to buy a bigger table.
Well, or get the contract that Phillip has.
That's right.
Which, obviously there's time for you. So you got 2 kids. You got one in the oven and one already there.
That's right.
And what's your brother up to these days?
Man, so he's actually doing some stuff now. He just started with NFL Network in the morning. He's doing some stuff there that he's going to start doing here soon. And then also, my brother Darren is the head coach at my old high school down in Bakersfield.
Okay.
And David is the offense coordinator, and my dad is the quarterback coach. So they're having a lot of fun down there right now.
So you just broke NFL Network news to me, by the way. That's news to me that Derek is he's going to start doing stuff with the network. I didn't know. Right. I mean, David's going to start doing stuff with the network.
That's right. Oh yeah. So you guys will probably be around each other some, and I think that'll be good.
Okay. How much do you guys talk about his career? Because his name comes up, Derek, and just right now with the amount of times that Russell Wilson is getting sacked, he's on pace for, and then you just fill in the blank of the number of times that your brother was sacked in his first year for the Texans. How much you guys talk about that?
Yeah, it's something that, early on in my career, it came up a lot, because he said, one thing you got to do is make sure you're protected, and that's something that I have taken, a lot of time in studying. I've taken a lot of time in training, making sure that, I can always protect myself some way, whether it's with a hot, whether it's with picking up the blitz and protection, any kind of way, he said, because you can't throw the ball if you're on your back. And so that's something that it came up early on, and it's something that, he only really needed to say it a couple of times to make it stick, because I found out real soon how important that is.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Derek. You got a big matchup this week. I'm sure you're going to be seeing a lot of Revis Island film, a lot of Cromartie film, a lot of stuff about that defensive line you have heading your way this week. So good luck to you. I appreciate that.
Hey, Rich, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. I hope this is the first of many times, Derek.
Yes, sir.
You bet. That's Derek Carr, quarterback of the Oakland Raiders, joining me here.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.